Welcome to my Scrappin space. I'm Joni Martin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator located in Southwest Wisconsin. And I'm here to share with you a pretty all-purpose card, meaning you could use it for so many occasions, from the Painterly Pears Suite. What do you say we get my face out of the way and we look at our card? Painterly Pears is an online exclusive suite, and it has beautiful papers, which we're going to use. It comes with stamps and dies, and we're going to be using some of the dies. And I wanted to make sure you understood it's an online exclusive, meaning you're going to go to stampinup.com, find your favorite demonstrator, and when you look at online exclusives, or just put Pears in the search engine, you'll find it. So as I said, I see this as an all-purpose card, and I love these. I don't have anything on the inside yet because I don't know which kind of cards I'm going to need, but I could quickly make it a birthday card. I have a team member who just had shoulder surgery. I need to get a card off to her that I'm thinking of her, so that'd be great for that too. So there's lots of uses. So let's talk a little bit first about how I use the die cuts, and then we'll start making a card. So the die cuts include pieces that coordinate with the stamps and some extra pieces, like look at this lovely label. But this will cut out the stamped pear. This will cut out the leaves. And the reason there's two of these is you stamp this in one dark color, and then this kind of gives it a watercolored look, so you could do yellows or greens, whatever you want to do. I, though, used it on the paper, and let me show you how I did that. There's beautiful images in this paper pack, but from this paper you can cut a die. As you can see, it cuts it pretty close, and you can cut the leaves that go with it, and that's what we did. This is one of the virtual card kits for my August classes, and that's what we did for that one. So participants got the die cut pieces like that. Okay, let me put these away so I don't lose them, and let's make this card. Do you guys ever lose little die pieces? I'm way too good at it. Okay, so we started with an old olive card base, and I knew I wanted to use old olive because it's Stampin' Up, and Stampin' Up always lets you know the coordinating colors, and everything always matches. They're great at that, so I can spend time creating and not figuring out what color goes with what. So this is a standard card base, and when you go to scrappinwithjoni.com, you'll find my blog, and you can find this project, and I have a list of supplies, measurements, directions, so you'll be all set. Okay, so now let's build up that card front. This is Petal Pink, which is picking up the pink in there. And on there, this is, look at that one, isn't that gorgeous? But we're gonna use this side. There's two different grid papers in this paper pack, and I really like the grids. I think they give a neutral background, and then you can just add layers to it. So that's gonna go right there. Now I made that very close. So this is a standard 4 by 5 1/4, and I went down just 1/8 of an inch. I know some of my creative friends are not fans of cutting in 1/8 inches. Then cut it in 1/4 inch. Just means you'll see more of the mat underneath. But when I've cut it that close, I'm going to use a liquid glue. Notice I'm not getting too close to the edges there, because that lets me move it around and get it to right where I want it. So then I can, just making sure we're still on camera here, yep. And I can kind of set it, and it doesn't dry immediately, so if I feel like I need to squish it around a little bit, I can. Okay, then this is that really pretty, one of the prints also in there, and see, this is the other grid paper on the back. And this mat is just 1/8 of an inch bigger again on the sides. The length is the same. So again, let's go back and use that multi-purpose glue. And attach it to here. Now if you would have said to me, oh, do you want to make a bunch of cards with papers with pears in them? My first thought would have been, no, I don't think so. But this paper is stunningly gorgeous, and it's been so fun to just design projects with. There we go. Then I attach this about 1/4 inch from the side, So if you're using a paper grid or a glass mat, that's going to be one of the squares on there. And I'm going to go right there. You can decide how much you want to move it in. I mean, it's your card. But I just want a little bit of this mat underneath showing. And again, I'm going to go back to using multi-purpose glue because then I can kind of put it, I can move it around if I don't get it where I want. So then I'm using that dotted line. And this little strip fits right, it's the same length as my mat, which is 5 1/4. And this color is the same as this color, so you have what looks like a continuous mat all the way around. Top and bottom is covered by the mat of the lower card. All right, now we're going to attach that to the card base. And now, because I'm gluing flat on flat, I don't have to worry about how I line it up because I have plenty of room. Good old tape runner. This is going to go here. Look, once you add that green to that, see how it all kind of comes together? Pretty cool, huh? Okay, so I knew I wanted to do the pears. And I don't know about you, but when I'm designing a card, usually my first run at it doesn't work. Like, I mean, I think, okay, we can do this, but let's do this also. So I started with just the pears, and I did 2 pears. I didn't like either of it. But then there was this fun little design in the die pack for the pears. I don't know if in the directions if I called it a grid or a hashtag, but we're going to attach that and see how that just kind of brings the pink in one more time and let's say just takes up some space. But this is pretty tiny to glue on the back of there. So I told you this in the directions, I attached an adhesive sheet on the back. So easy to do. And then I'm just going to grab, take your pick tool, or you could use your snips or your fingernails, and I'm going to peel that off. And what we have is pretty much a sticker. Look at that. And that's just going to plop to the side. Then here's my pear, and I'm going to attach the stem before I attach it on there. And I didn't do it with this one. I did this one flat, but I think I'd like it better if they were both, you know, like it looked like it was attached more. That one, I don't think I like it because one is flat and one is popped up is what I'm saying. So I'm going to grab just a bit of tear and tape. Just a tiny, tiny little piece. And I'm going to attach that stem. Now it doesn't need a lot. It isn't like you're going to pull on it. But then I'm going to grab dimensionals. And I'm reaching because I have lots of dimensional sheets started, and I should probably try to be using up some of these. Dimensionals are little pieces of foam that are sticky on both sides. So when I pull it off, it's going to be sticky. I'm going to get those on the leaf, but I have that pretty close, but when I turn it over, I don't see a dimensional, so we're going to be okay there. And I'm going to put one right here. There. Then I'm going to peel that back off. I'm going to grab my little trash bowl here. My friend Jennifer, another Stampin' Up demonstrator, taught me this trick about always putting these little backings somewhere where they're contained, because otherwise those backings are so staticky, they travel with you, they cling to your clothes, your shoes, everywhere. We're going to get one more up there just a little closer. Then this is just going to go here. And look at that. That's all it took. Then I'm going to attach this here, and I want to show you. I also popped up the circle. And I know we talk about not using 2 rows, like another row of dimensionals, because then it makes the card too thick. So what I'm going to do is make sure I don't put any dimensionals on the back under this pear piece. So we're going to grab that. And you can tell by feeling where that is. Oops. Oh, I grabbed 2 of them and they're sticking to each other. Well, we need 2. We'll use both of them. There we go. So when it's in the envelope, it will squish down to the width of just 1 dimensional, and that will be fine. There we go. just like that. And then I just kind of did it near the top, but I want my pear going straight. Let's not have a sideways pear. These beautiful little sparkle embellishments are part of the Painterly Pears Suite, and they're called low profile sparkle dots. I have them listed in the direction. And we're going to add just a touch here. I like to do my embellishments in odd number, usually 3, and if I do 3, I do it in a roughly triangular shape, which just means one of the embellishments is hanging out by itself and the other 2 are closer together. That's something that came from my scrapbooking background. When you're arranging elements on a scrapbook page, you want that your eye kind of goes that way. You want them in a roughly triangular shape. Okay, look how easy that was. Now let's talk about the inside. I don't know what this is going to be yet, but I do know that I don't want to put a blank white on the inside. So you could just do that and stamp something out lovely. But if this is a 1/2 inch scrap of paper, you'd probably throw away anyway. Instead, let's take the front of that card and bring a piece of it to the inside. It just adds just a little bit, like ups your card game a little bit. Makes the card look a little more finished, a little more together. And while we're at it, look at this boring white envelope. Now it's a Stampin' Up envelope. It's great quality. It's soft. The cards fit beautifully, but it's a blank white envelope. So we're going to take the envelope flap and fold it back. This is a 2 1/4 by 6 inch piece. The directions are, you can get those numbers off my blog. We don't need that anymore. And look at there. That's all it took. We're going to snip, kind of trim around that envelope flap, and we have gone from boring naked envelope to someone who gets this envelope who's going to want to open this one first, because if the envelope looks this good, you can only imagine how good the card's going to look on the inside. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Just a game changer. We're going to snip. I'm just trimming this even with the edges. Now you could cut it to the width of your card, but honestly, I keep it a little longer because that's easier for me. Sometimes my hands are not always cooperating, and I feel like I have little handles, so it's easier for me to attach it inside my card. And just a little bit here. And there we have it. Our all-purpose card made with Painterly Pears Suite. Isn't that pretty? So easy. So pretty. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it more than you know. If you liked what you saw, please share it with your crafty friends. And until next time, take care and keep crafting. It's good for you.